Hi and welcome to Whiskey Thieves TV. I'm Joe the Baker and today I will be baking. I saw this recipe online the other day and I thought, hey, what perfect type of bread would I make with whiskey? Whiskey infused Irish soda bread. So what do we need for the bread? Well, we're going to need 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, a cup of Irish whiskey. I will be using Jameson today. A cup of all-purpose flour, a cup of whole wheat flour, a cup of raisins, 3/4 of a cup of buttermilk. We're gonna need a teaspoon of baking soda, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt. So that's for the bread. For the whiskey butter, we're gonna need 9 tablespoons of butter. We're gonna need a tablespoon of granulated sugar, and then the leftover whiskey that comes out of the infusing of the raisins, we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of that. So the first thing we're gonna do is infuse the whiskey into the raisins. So let's go ahead to the oven and get started. Okay, to begin, you wanna go ahead and put a small saucepan on your stove and set it to medium heat. Next, go ahead and add your 1 cup of raisins. And then your 1 cup of Irish whiskey. Once it begins to simmer, you'll want to take it off the heat and immediately cover it. Let it sit for at least an hour. Okay, so now after an hour, you'll want to go ahead and drain the raisins and make sure to reserve the whiskey because we're going to be using this in our whiskey butter later. At this point, I go ahead and I preheat my oven to 375 degrees. Next, you'll need a large bowl and then add your 1 cup of all-purpose flour, your 1 cup of whole wheat flour, your baking soda, and your salt. Then go ahead and whisk those together. Okay, next, go ahead and put the butter into the flour, and then either using a pastry blender or your fingers, you're going to go ahead and mix the butter within your flour mixture. Now, most of the butter should be about the size of peas. You might get a couple of larger pieces, that's okay. Okay, now go ahead and add your whiskey-soaked raisins into your flour mixture. Finally, go ahead and stir in the buttermilk. You'll want to go ahead and incorporate the buttermilk until all the dry ingredients have become moistened. And keep stirring until the dough comes together. Now, take your dough and turn it onto a slightly floured work surface. Go ahead and knead the dough until it's nice and smooth. It still may be a little bit sticky and tacky, but that's okay. If it's too wet, you can add a little bit more flour, but not too much. Now take your dough and pat it into a nice 6-inch circle. Now place your dough circle on a parchment-lined baking sheet and score the top of it in a crisscross pattern about a 1/2 inch deep. Finally, go ahead and bake it for about 30 minutes or until an instant read thermometer reads 190 degrees. Alright guys, well, it's all finished. Sitting here cooling on the rack. I got the butter chilling in the fridge. And I think my friends are here.
The raisins.
Yeah.
So go back to the butter.
Right.
So how was the butter? I mean, you just take butter and you put whiskey on it and honey?
So whiskey with sugar, 20 seconds in the microwave, let it get to room temperature. And then you blend it in with the butter and then you let it chill. Oh, he's going right into that.
Sorry.
No.
Hey, there was no rules set, so you're good.
Sorry.
Oh, that is delicious.
That's
That
good.
is ridiculous, Baker.
Now it's supposed to pair really well with whiskey, so.
It's
Oh, damn.
perfect.
Yeah.
God damn, that's good.
That's really good.
I know. It's like coffee.
Probably shouldn't do it.
I wouldn't dip it.
Not dip it.
I was wanting to just put that whole thing of butter on here.
I think the
Butter
raisin,
is
though.
ridiculous.
That's the raisin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of raisins, but I
No,
gotta
those
tell you,
raisins are delicious.
whiskey-soaked raisins.
That might be
This
a
is
new.
like
Hey,
raisin
you
bran.
know what? Maybe that's something do people sell whiskey raisins? I think you could start a trend there.
We might have to add it to the website. I don't know. Well,
Big props to Joe.
that's really good.
The big
So awesome,
change
they'll
crew.
have flavors.
Well, listen, guys. Hey, thank you for joining us today. Turned out really great. You'll see the instructions and the ingredients in the comments below. I'm sorry, not in the comments, but what do you call that part? Below?
Caption.
In the
The
caption.
caption
Below.
below. Yeah.
You'll see it below. Anyhow, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out our other videos, and if you have any suggestions on future videos, please put those in the comments below.
Yep.
And until next time, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
To Thurston,
The Thurston
The
House.
Thurston
to
House.
friends, and to social
health.
distancing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Take
Please
care.
like, comment, subscribe.
That's right.